Home prices 2024 Houston suburbs. It's the end of the year and all the real estate predictions are out. Today we are going to look at what everyone is saying about the 2024 housing market for Houston and the surrounding areas. We're going to see what Redfin, Zillow, what Realtor.com, and HAR says, and then of course I'm going to give my own opinion, and I want you to drop yours in the comments right now. For those of you new around here, my name is Danielle, and I am a realtor in the Houston area specializing in master plan communities and newer homes. If you would like assistance on building, buying, or selling, please email me. I would love to help. So the biggest takeaways that Realtor.com had to say about Houston and the other Texas metro areas is that we are going to have a correction this coming year. Our prices got so inflated so fast over the last couple of years, coupled with the demand of all the new residents moving to Texas, that once interest rates soared really high in 2023, it definitely slowed the demand of overpriced housing here in Texas. So now that the buying frenzy and FOMO of buying a house is wearing off, the prices here in Texas are starting to stabilize. If we look at this graph, June 2020 prices were $329, 2021 they were $414, and then in 2022 they went up to a staggering $500,000 and then back down to $480. So what Realtor.com is saying seems to check out given this graph by HAR, and that we have already began to see this correction towards the end of 2023. Realtor.com also stated that this is not going to go down to pre-pandemic pricing, and it's not going to happen over the course of 1 year, and that this will be a slow and steady stabilization, which I also completely agree with. New construction is still currently over 25% of our active inventory, especially out in the suburbs. Builders are still in the position to offer aggressive incentives and rate buydowns, and this is causing sellers to have to lower prices and possibly add more concessions. And lastly, Realtor listed El Paso as the city in Texas that will see the most growth and a boom per se, given how many cash transactions they've had in the last 12 months. Moving on to the Zillow predictions, again, Zillow is echoing a lot of what Realtor.com says, and that we can expect to see some more improvement when it comes to inventory and prices slowly coming down. One thing that Zillow mentioned that Realtor.com did not mention is that interest rates, despite all the new rumors that the feds will lower interest rate multiple times during 2024, Zillow is sticking by that mortgage rates will remain stubbornly high through 2024, but still slightly lower than 2023. But ultimately, this will continue to slow the rate at which the market will return to normalcy. Note, I said normalcy, not pre-pandemic pricing. Even if home pricing and interest rates stabilize, we will not see that kind of pricing again. And lastly, more good news from Redfin. Redfin is predicting that they believe prices will drop about 1% on average across most major housing markets in 2024. They are thinking that more homeowners will realize mortgage rates will never drop to the 2s and 3s again, and we will start to see more inventory coming to the market, which will continue to even out the playing field despite mortgage rates still being higher. HAR, which is Houston Association of Realtors, if we look at this graph, is predicting that home prices will increase this year. We are ending this year with an overall 2.8% increase on average, and they predict that the average will go up to about 1.5 by the end of this coming year. In other words, there were a lot of predictions in 2022 that the market would crash in 2023, and it simply did not. The reason for this, especially in the Houston area, is that there was never enough inventory for the amount of people needing or wanting to buy a home in the Houston area, and we are going to continue to see that demand in 2024. It is predicted that 2024 will be a much more active market as people need to move, jobs change, families change, and these major life changes force people to move regardless of market conditions, especially because many people have tried to hold out for the last few years and they just can't anymore. All right, so here is my take on the housing market for 2024. Take it or leave it. And again, please leave your opinion in the comments because I'm very interested to see what you think. Number one is I do believe we will see more movement in 2024 for both the buying and selling side, but it is not going to be the same buying frenzy as the pandemic. I think a lot of people are ready to move or make changes, and people are slowly accepting the new normal as far as housing and interest rates go. Number two, I do think prices will go up and down slightly through the year based on interest rate activity. As soon as interest rates change, we see mortgage applications go up as much as 20% for that month. So with that, more people hit the market and home buying becomes competitive again, and it seems like a very vicious cycle here in Houston. A side note for number two, so I'll just make that my number three. I do think buying a home when you are ready is the best approach, and also staying within your means of affordability and not buying a house and hoping that one day you can refinance it. I would buy a house that you can afford with the hope that one day you can refinance it and save money, but do not buy a house just to think you can refinance it later, because we never know what is going to happen. And number four, area matters when it comes to these market updates. Houston spans nearly 700 square miles, so where you are looking really determines what the market is doing for that area. A lot of people give generalized info for the entire area of Houston, and what happens in the suburbs and a lot of the desirable areas people are looking into are priced differently, and demand is completely different. And my last prediction is that new construction is still going to dominate the market here in Houston. We have so much undeveloped land, and we have the space and the builders to build. Anywho, I hope this was helpful, and hopefully I will see you this year to buy or sell a home. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.